Now, Dave Bluntz is a rapper who's blown up right now, but it's not for the reasons you'd expect. No controversy, no beef, no scandals. Instead, the internet can't stop talking about one thing: his weight. I'm sure a lot of people have seen the clips or heard the chatter, and if not, don't worry, I'm gonna enlighten you on exactly what's going on. Dave Bluntz is a 23-year-old rapper from Salt Lake City, Utah, who's been steadily making waves online. While his music is gaining attention, it's his weight that's become the centerpiece of the conversation, sparking memes, debates, and plenty of reactions across social media. Now let's talk about Dave Bluntz for a second. He's a 23-year-old guy who comes out of Salt Lake City, Utah, is definitely going viral right now, and Salt Lake City isn't a place you typically associate with hip-hop. Dave's journey into rap isn't your typical story. He's been dropping tracks that show a lot of raw talent, and his unique delivery and personality have started to catch the attention of hip-hop fans across platforms. But while his music is undeniably making waves, his appearance is what's really got people talking. Now, Dave Bluntz stands out because he doesn't fit the image of what we expect most rappers to look like. Now, Dave Bluntz is a fella that's bigger than usual, and that's something that he's proudly representing. You might have noticed the inhaler that he was hitting right before he started rapping, and that particular clip started making waves around summertime. At that point, he was just starting to surface. And then sometime after that, this clip started going viral.
Hate on me cause I'm a fat, I don't give a cause I'm a getter. Got a white, be a wrist splitter, got Jewish money. Don't let Seth Tobin be your babysitter, cause I heard that nigga was a kid.
Over the last few weeks, Dave Bluntz has been making a lot of headlines. The most notable story happened a few days ago, and it involves Dave Bluntz performing at Juice WRLD Day in Chicago. Now, this wasn't your average performance. Some might say that it wasn't a performance at all. That's because Dave Bluntz took the stage sitting down, accompanied by an oxygen tank.
Hey Chicago, do y'all have a problem with me sitting down on this stage? Exactly. Get off my Snoop Dogg.
So the oxygen tank was directly tied to his health, which has been a huge topic of discussion, especially because it's related to him being overweight. And that's the core of why he's causing so many headlines right now. Now, Dave didn't hold back during this particular performance. He specifically addressed Snoop Dogg, who had recently hopped on social media to make some slick comments about his weight. And this is what Snoop Dogg had to say. "Well, put down the chicken wings and tie the chips, nephew, and that chair gon' break soon. Get to the end of the cup." And that's a reference to a song where he says, "I can't put down a cup, I can't put down a cup." So he said what he said because Snoop hopped on social media and made these comments about his weight. So he was essentially responding to Snoop saying, "Hey, get off my don't you worry about me." I think if Snoop actually wanted to help, he would have obviously personally messaged him and been like, "Hey, come out to LA, I got you for a week or two on a personal trainer," whatever, right? He would have messaged him and reached out to him personally and not said what he said on Instagram. And since it's Snoop Dogg, I'm sure he was, probably high off his mind, right? What's the likelihood that Snoop Dogg is high? Type in this comment, you tell me. Now, this is not the most worrying aspect of this story. It's just one of them. I mean, first of all, Dave Bluntz is an artist, so he's supposed to be able to, at the very least, perform his songs without having to sit down. Him not being able to sit down is just a reflection of the poor health the guy is in. And I hate to be the guy who's stating the obvious, but he does need to lose some weight. I think we all can agree on that. Not for anyone's validation, but for his own sake. I can't say for certain how much Dave Bluntz weighs, but he appears to be at least 500 pounds, which is far beyond the BMI range for a healthy adult male. So if anything, the conversation around Dave Bluntz's weight comes from a place of concern, at least for some people. It's what everyone is saying, and honestly, it makes sense. This isn't all that different from when we watched Juice WRLD rap about drugs. We saw how his lifestyle affected him in real life, and many fans were pleading with him to lay off the substances because they knew it would catch up to him. Sadly, we all know how that story ended. Just like with Juice, destructive behavior, whether it's substance abuse or ignoring serious health risks, can have devastating consequences. In Dave's case, the concern is about his weight and the toll it could take on his long-term health, which is a very real thing. Apart from the video of Dave Bluntz using an oxygen tank, there's another clip that I found deeply concerning. And in this particular video, Dave is seen sitting on the floor after a performance, struggling to catch his breath and looking completely exhausted. Now, if this was any other artist, we would have probably not thought twice about it. The perspective would have probably been, hey, maybe they just overexerted themselves during a particular intense performance, but given the context of Dave's story, it definitely raises some alarms. And honestly, it's quite sad to see this. I know that memes like these are flying around. One of them references the 600-pound life documentary, saying that this is eventually going to be Dave Bluntz. And another one is a post of the Spotify Wrapped results, and Dave is taking up half the space on the screen. And another one is Peter Griffin from Family Guy getting carried from his couch on a forklift. And another one is just straight up hateful. I mean, take a look at this. Trash, fat, fuck of a rapper Dave Blunts gets on a beat and lies about effing someone's bitch. We all know sex is not feasible for his build. To be fair, there's plenty of overweight guys out here who are, getting more play than you would ever think they are actually getting. I know some of them. So this person is obviously projecting based on their own limitations. Honestly, this story is nothing but sad, and I'm having a really hard time finding any of this funny. Maybe I'm getting too old, or maybe I just don't see this type of story as entertainment. Watching another man, especially a man who's this young, reach a point where his health is visibly deteriorating and is turned into a spectacle for the internet is more tragic than anything. Honestly, this is not really that comical to me. First of all, this guy's incredibly talented. I've listened to some of his music and he's definitely memorable. As far as his lyrical content goes, he still has some growing to do, but that's something that will come with time. That is, of course, if he doesn't end up seriously ill or injured due to the limitations that come. I mean, we all know the health risks that come with being obese in general. These include increased risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, joint pain and mobility issues, sleep apnea and breathing difficulties, higher likelihood of strokes, certain types of cancer, mental health related conditions as well, such as depression and anxiety. And the list goes on. But this is something we already know, just like how the average person understands that going to the gym can fight disease, increase your lifespan, and improve your overall quality of life. Yet most people don't do it. Why? Because it's not easy to do. And that's the funny thing about life. What comes easy usually isn't good for you, and what's good for you never comes easy. It's a harsh truth, but it's one that applies to almost everything, from health to success. And also, as for the responses to this entire thing, people are very, very, very cruel. And honestly, some of these comments are just ridiculous. I hate Dave Blunt's gluttonous, disgusting, huge bitch. Someone needs to dart him with Ozempic on stage. Now, these types of comments are obviously coming from people who are not very concerned about him, but people who are projecting their own insecurities on the guy. It's one thing to say, I hope he takes care of his health by losing weight, but it's another thing to say this fat, obese bastard needs to lose some damn weight, okay? Two different things. One is helpful, another one is straight up hateful. Most people in this world are not confident in who they are, and so when they see another person who might not be doing that well, they try to break them down because that person is a reflection of what they see in themselves. And here's the thing, you're not going to be able to shame another person into changing. Real change only happens when someone is ready to make that decision for themselves. Another key aspect of the story is the fact that we have rappers blowing up because of things like this. I mean, think about it. I'm not talking about Dave Blunts because of his music. His music serves as the background to his name, but even then, it's not his name that's in the spotlight. It's the fact that he's overweight. That says a lot about the state of music today. We've known this for a while, but the music industry nowadays isn't about raw talent, making people feel something with your music, or creating a lasting impact. It's about feeding into gimmicks, sadly. And that's not to say those other things don't exist, because they obviously do, but it's rare for someone to get this level of attention without having some sort of controversy spectacle or viral moment attached to their name. I wish things could have been different, but the way social media operates, fueling an artist's name through shock value and trends, I honestly don't think this dynamic is going to change anytime soon. One thing I'm learning from this particular story is how important it is to prioritize your health above everything else. Whether it's money, fame, attention, or especially clout, none of those things even combined outweigh the importance of taking care of yourself. For someone like Dave Blunts, I'm sure it's especially difficult because the very reason he's getting all this attention is tied to his deteriorating health. It's a double-edged sword. This reminds me a lot of Ice Spice, which we've talked a lot about on his channel. Part of the reason why she initially blew up was because of her physical appearance. Let's be real, a big reason why Ice Spice got so much attention was because of her body. But now part of the reason why she's starting to fade away is because she essentially lost all the ass she had, right? In Ice Spice's case, something I'll dive into more in an upcoming video, she made a decision that was best for her, and honestly, for that reason, I can respect Ice Spice. If there's one takeaway from her story, it's that just because people praise you for looking a certain way doesn't mean you can't choose a different path, even if that choice involves losing some of the attention. Your health and well-being should always come first. For Dave Blunts, he's the only one who can take responsibility for switching up his habits, and that obviously includes putting the cup down. If he wants to have a fruitful and long-lasting career, his health has to be the priority. To be honest, the only thing that could hold him back right now is his health, because he has momentum and the media is paying attention to him. If he gets his health in check, it's like knocking out two birds in one stone. He takes control of his future and ensures he's around to reap the rewards of his hard work and talent. I encourage everyone out there to prioritize their health over everything. I don't care how much money you have, if your health is not in check, you're not going to be able to live a good life. Fact. And this particular story is about someone going viral for the wrong reasons, and despite the situation, I genuinely hope two things for Dave Bluntz. First, that he stays healthy enough to keep capitalizing on all the opportunities he has right now, because that's not really guaranteed, especially in his condition, let's just be honest, right? And second, that he eventually takes some of that rap money and invests it back into himself. Because at the end of the day, you are your own biggest asset. Not your brand, not your fame, but you as a human being. There's absolutely nothing more important than that. For me, that's the real takeaway of this story, and I hope it resonates with you as well. Anyway, if you made it this far, that means that you enjoyed this video, so drop a like on it. I appreciate you for the like. Thank you. Also, if you're new here, my name is Blacky Spez. Welcome to the family. We got more room here, obviously, okay? Come in. We don't discriminate. Welcome to the family. What do you guys think about this particular story? Rapper Dave Bluntz is going viral for being overweight. You guys have any perspective on his story? What do you think about the reception? What do you think about him actually becoming so viral because of his health deteriorating? I think that's a very important thing to discuss. So I'll catch you in the comment section below, but most importantly of all, I'll catch you on the next video. Peace. I'm out.